So as many of you don't know, because I haven't been making videos for that long, and you guys don't know a lot about me, I am a major superhero nerd. Some people are car nerds, unoriginal. Some people are sports nerds. How lame is that? But for me, I'm a huge superhero nerd. Well, I'm a nerd about a lot of things, but superheroes are one of them. And that is exactly what we're talking about today. But more specifically, we are going to be talking about DC Comics, and even more specifically, their live-action movies, and why they're just not that good. I'm going to be going over the 5 biggest reasons why I believe the DC movies have been so bad for such a long time, and also go over what can be done about them to make them better. So let's get started. As many of you probably know, Warner Bros. Is the studio parent company that owns the rights to DC and all of DC's characters. But they don't have any power when it comes to the decision making for DC live action movies, right? Wrong. They have made a lot of the decisions for a lot of the movies, and that's the problem. Many of the directors in the past have come out and said that during their time directing the movies, they had no creative freedom for the movies they were trying to make. Examples I will be using for this video are Harley Quinn Birds of Prey and Justice League. Now, for Justice League, we all know the great tale of Zack Snyder and his version of Justice League, so I'm just going to give a quick overview. Justice League came out and it flopped, as a lot of you probably know. And nobody liked it at all. Like, I thought it was horrible. Director Zack Snyder for that movie then proceeded to say that his vision was completely different, and gave a quick snapshot of what the movie would look like if he was able to actually have creative freedom for it. The internet loved this version so much that it gave Zack Snyder enough power and influence to actually make the movie. Like, it just goes to show you, if the internet complains enough, that we can actually get what we want. You know, like the Sonic movie. And Zack Snyder's version was so much better. Like, if you saw what Rotten Tomatoes scores, it was like the whole 30% higher than the original Justice League. And it just goes to show you what happens when directors actually have creative freedom. Speaking of creative freedom, as for Birds of Prey, director Kathy Lang said in an interview that she had a different approach for the movie, but didn't have any power to make it into her vision. She wanted to make it more of a Harley Quinn solo movie than a DC version of Josie and the Pussycats. Now, there are a lot of other examples of this, but these are the 2 biggest ones that I wanted to talk about due to each their impact on the DC community. So let's talk about Batman. Not so much the character, but more the many actors that have played him in the past 25 plus years. Now, I'm not going to be counting Adam West in this group because his was a TV show and not a movie, but just know that he was one of them. Now, why do I feel like this is a problem? Because how am I supposed to get attached to a character, especially one that'll be in multiple movies, when they change the actor every 5 years? Like, do you know why people like Iron Man so much? Because they fell in love with Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Iron Man. The same goes for the rest of the Marvel cast. Plus, with each new actor comes a different version of Batman, which makes it hard to watch the version of Batman when I know it's just going to change in the next movie or 2. Keeping a consistent cast for your movies is very important because the cast can develop good chemistry with each other, which also makes the movie better as well, and you don't end up with this awkward scene where 2 actors all of a sudden become allies just so they can progress the movie. Batman vs. Superman. Just so bad. So bad! Like, why? Why? DC movies are way too short, especially when they are trying to introduce a new character. For example, let's compare the character Cyborg in both the Justice League movie and Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. In Justice League, the first time you are introduced to Cyborg is when Wonder Woman goes to find him and they meet in the street. That's it. He is then thrown into battle with everyone else, and now we have to watch this character for the rest of the movie with little to no backstory. And let me tell you, That's it just sucks. It's boring. How am I supposed to root for this guy if I don't know how the hell he became a cyborg or when he decided to become a superhero? Like, I have no knowledge of him, so how am I supposed to watch him, root for him, see these cool moments? Now, on the other hand, with the Zack Snyder's version, we see a lot more depth with Cyborg as a character, and we see this whole story arc between him and his father, which they show is the reason why he became a cyborg, because he was in a major car accident, and his father used this alien technology to save his life, but then it transformed him into cyborg. Um, and it's not just one scene, too. There's multiple scenes throughout the entire movie that show his progression as a character, and it's so good. This movie, by the way, is 4 hours long, which I don't think it should be that long, but it should be at least be 2.5 hours long, at minimum. So you can see with more time gives them more room to create stories to these characters, so we can get more attached to them, and it makes it more entertaining to watch overall. Alright, yes, I know I'm talking about another character. And why is this character a problem? Well, he's just absolutely broken. Like, I'm not talking about the actor this time. It's literally the character that is actually ruining these movies. I don't like Superman the same way I don't like Captain Marvel in Avengers. They both are just extremely broken characters that these franchises abuse and use as scapegoats when the other people in the group are in trouble. I know me saying that just one character is making these movies bad sounds crazy, but like, hear me out. Having an OP character makes it hard for others to shine. Having Superman come in at the end and kick the powerful guy's ass is not a good way to turn the tides for the group. Especially when Superman literally does all the work. And it just makes it more of a boring experience when one person carries the rest of them. Alright, what do I mean by the DCU doesn't have an identity? Well, DC, when it comes to it, is generally a very dark and more serious superhero group. Um, but its live action movies has this like mix of everything, and that's a major problem. To be fair, most DC live action movies have a more serious tone to them and are very dark. But then there's fucking Shazam, which is entirely a comedic movie with no serious tone to it at all. All right, now don't get me wrong. I do like Shazam. I think it's actually a very funny movie and does a good job doing what it was meant to do, which was be a lighthearted comedy superhero movie. That's the problem, though. DC currently has a split personality where one side is trying to be like funny, chaotic, and the other side is trying to be more serious and dark. It's like the devil and the angel are on DC's shoulders, and he can't decide which one to go with. This split is also causing a divergence in the DC community because one side, like I said, likes the devil, likes the more dark and serious tone, and the other side likes the more light-hearted, funny movies. And it's like causing this like fight between the fans to see which one's better. And that's not good for DC like money. I get that it keeps DC in the talks and the community. It keeps them more lively, but like it's not good for them to fight. You want them talking about the movies, not whether or not Shazam is way better than Wonder Woman. Now, remember earlier how I talked about the many different Batmans DC has had? Well, it's not just Batman. Currently, DC has 3 different story arcs going on, and nobody knows which one is the actual canon version for the live-action movies. Not even the company themselves know what the hell is going on. You've got Warner Bros. Trying to set up this new universe with Robert Pattinson as the new Batman. Like, that's the starter, like how Iron Man started with Marvel. But you've also got Snyder's version universe, where it's the old Justice League cast continuing this 3-movie Justice League arc to fight against the big villain, who is Darkseid. And now you have this new idea Warner Bros. Is throwing around where Superman will be portrayed by a black actor, and that's a universe in and of itself. And it's just causing this chaos where now, like, movies are being delayed because they don't know which universe they're going to go with. Everyone's just confused, and it's just frustrating. Now, what is the solution to this, you may ask? Well, it's very simple. The solution to this is that everyone needs to get on the same page. Otherwise, they will never be able to compete with Marvel because Marvel actually has all their shit together and is not trying to branch off and have everyone do their own school projects. I know Marvel's like doing this whole multiverse thing now, but at least that's all planned. They don't have 80 different things going on and they don't know which one to pick. It's like DC is throwing this dart at a dartboard and like, oh, we're going with the Flash universe this time, guys. Oh boy! Smash the like button!